Submariner. Launched in 1953 as one of the very first purpose-built dive watches, the Rolex Submariner has served as the gold standard in underwater timepieces for more than half a century. Defined by their superior water resistance, highly luminous displays, and rotating timing bezels, Rolex Submariner watches are offered in either date or no-date formats, and they can now be found in an assortment of different dial colors and metal options. Additionally, it's important to note that while the Submariner's iconic design has remained largely unchanged, certain aspects of it have been refined and improved throughout the years, and this can slightly affect how you use and set your watch. For example, if you have a vintage Submariner, basically anything with a 4-digit reference number, then the rotating timing bezel will turn bidirectionally rather than just counterclockwise like more modern versions. Additionally, if you have a vintage model with a date display like the reference 1680, its movement doesn't have a quick set, so you won't be able to adjust the date value without rotating the hands around past midnight. To set your Rolex Submariner, first unscrew the winding crown from the threads that secure it to the case. If your watch has a date display, you're going to first want to set that before you set the time. For models with quick set date movements, pull the winding crown out to the first notch. In this position, rotating the crown will advance the date display, which is located at 3 o'clock under the magnification lens on the crystal. To set the time, pull out the winding crown to the second notch until you feel a faint click and the seconds hand comes to a complete stop. Then, rotate the crown in either direction until the correct time is displayed by the hands. During this stage, it's important to take note of whether your watch is displaying AM or PM hours, as the date display will only change every second time that the hour hand passes the 12 o'clock marker. If while setting the time, the date display advances past the desired value, repeat the previous step to correct the date. Once the time and date have been set, push in the winding crown and screw it back down to the case to ensure that your watch stays protected against moisture and dirt. Should you wish to use your Submariner's rotating bezel to measure elapsed time, simply turn it until the inverted triangle is aligned with the current position of the minute hand. With the exception of vintage models, the Submariner's bezel will only rotate counterclockwise, which is a safety feature for scuba divers that prevents them from accidentally underestimating the duration of immersion. You can then read the amount of time that's passed by referencing the minute hand's position against the 60-minute scale on your watch's bezel. The gold standard in dive watches and an internationally celebrated icon, the Rolex Submariner is one of the most famous luxury timepieces ever created, and it's worn by countless individuals all around the world, both above and below the surface of the ocean. For more information